Oh my goodness. It's the 22nd day of April, the 20th day of me vlogging every day in April because I missed yesterday. I'm very sorry. So I kind of made a promise to myself that I wouldn't work really hard on these videos and I wouldn't write scripts for them and I wouldn't be all methodical about them because I wanted it to be like the old days where I just talked at the camera. And of course things happen when you do that, like you mentioned that you don't like the idea of hell. I still don't like the idea of hell, but the conversations in the comments have been very enlightening to me. But it's very hard to talk about, especially without writing stuff down and sort of logicking out all of the thoughts that I have in my head. But I guess I'll just say this. There were a few things that I realized while reading the comments concerning this thing about hell. One is that you guys have absolutely no problem disagreeing with me, which is really awesome. And that's awesome. I mean, to be able to have someone disagree with you, but do it respectfully and like have a conversation about it, it's really cool. I like that a lot. And the other thing that I realized that's really fascinating. Now, I know that there are a lot of different Christian faiths. There are a lot of different Christian faiths. But what really surprised me was that every commenter kind of had a different take on what was going on. Now, when I think of religion, I think of the big structure where there's this book and it has rules and there are priests and they know what's going on and there's the Pope and he's like, here's everything and what I say goes. But that's not what I see in these comments. I see people with the personal view of what God is, with a personal, like, what they believe. And I totally can't argue with that practice. I can argue with some of the concepts and ideas that might spring from that. And there's this commandment, right? There's only one God, and God is the one true God. And excuse me if I'm being, not very thoughtful about this, but there isn't the one true God. There's a God for every person. Every person believes that God acts in a different way. There's a God that every person believes in, and we have our own view of the universe, and that view is manifested in the way that we think about God. And that's totally true for me too. And very commonly, I suspect, especially here in America, we have very personal religions that reflect the values of our society and our culture. And when those values change, it kind of changes the way that God sees the universe too. Whereas 50 years ago, all Christians probably would have agreed that homosexuality is a sin and people go to hell for it. Now I look at these comments and there are very few people espousing that belief because God, maybe he's changed, or maybe we've just understood him better or something. So that has been fascinating. Thank you all. And I hope that I didn't offend any more people in this video. All I'm trying to say is that I think I understand religion better now, and I certainly understand the Nerdfighteria's relationship with it better. And I know that it's something that people believe very deeply in and certainly have a hard time discussing, because when you have a deeply held belief, it's very difficult to, try and make it mesh with someone else's very slightly contrary deeply held belief. I generally try not to have those deeply held beliefs because I like to be able to understand and even agree with other people's deeply held beliefs by, putting myself in their position. So sorry if this is offensive in any way. I'm sure that it could be easily taken as offensive to many people, but what I'm trying to say is that thank you for helping me understand a little bit better. Okay, bye.